Hey, what's going on, folks? This is, I played a lot of, I've done a couple of Reborn videos, but they were much more passive. I was in a room with other people in it, and I couldn't just be babbling on that much. It was a different character. It was one of the Eorzea, and it was a basic gladiator. Well, I've settled into a character I'm a little more fond of. This is I always forget how to pronounce it. The Roegadyn, or whatever. Let's see, let me look it up right quick. Roegadyn. I don't know how to say it, but it's Roegadyn. And the class is Marauder. Now, Final Fantasy XIV does use that job system where your class kind of instantly changes depending on the weapon you choose that's appropriate to whatever class. Under Profile, you'll see that, or excuse me, classes, I'm an 8th level Marauder and a 0 level everything else. Excuse me. So, you can be anything, just equip the right weapon. And when I first heard about this, oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. When I first heard about this, I was really skeptical. Like, something about, like, making class so trivial did not appeal to me. Well, the truth is, I mean, in games like Skyrim, which I adore, you can just, you know, equip a weapon, you gain proficiency at it, and you can be a spellcaster even though you use a sword and shield and heavy armor and do whatever you want. So this is kind of an MMO version of that. I guess just them calling it jobs made it sound wrong, or not give me the right impression. I don't know, but it's fine, you know. But it's I'm having a hard time being objective about this game because I'm not typically a huge MMO fan. If you've been listening to Gamers Razor, you know that. But it's so much better than Final Fantasy XIV 1.0. Like so much better. I don't think I can be that objective yet. And I think once that initial like amazement wears off, then I might be able to go, okay, this is on its own merits, this good or this bad or whatever. But right now, it's just like, I'm so glad that they actually did manage to fix it. There were some major server issues. This is still early access, so this video won't go up till after its official release. But yeah, I mean, there's queues and everything that's to be expected, but they had like several sessions of emergency maintenance, mainly on North American servers. The Japanese servers have been seen pretty stable. And like I've got one group on a server that asked me to join, but that one's full. It's a legacy server. I got one friend on this server, Siren, that I haven't got a chance to play yet, but I'm gonna give that a shot when I can. But long story short, so far I've been enjoying it. There are your basic fetch quests, which one of the reasons I was so excited for Elder Scrolls Online coming up is that it doesn't have your typical grab 10 of these, kill 10 of these kind of quests, and it feels like an Elder Scrolls game. But here, you know, better than MMOs I've played in the past, it does a better job of contextualizing your quests, even if it is just a fetch quest, even if it is just kill 5 of these things, get their fur, and bring it back to me. They give it a little more, like, every character tells you exactly why they want it. I'm sure other games have done this, I just haven't noticed in the ones I've played. But there's an investment as to why you're doing it. And the combat is hotkey-based, as you can see, but it has a sense of immediacy to it that I think is more akin to the way the Secret World felt. It doesn't feel like WoW or Age of Conan, where everything felt a little bit more passive. Like pressing the button wasn't really connected to taking an action. When in this game, you know, I press 1, which is my heavy swing, I think. Yes, and immediately he just wham. So it almost feels like it's an action situation, but. And of course, every key has a cooldown before you do it again. And there's combos, you can swing at everything. Like, you get like 200% effectiveness if you hit this and then hit Skull Sunder within the time that it gives you this little yellow outline, which I'll go into when I do combat later. But I did a few fetch quests and did a few side quests and maybe one story quest with this character. I spent several hours on it today, and I thought now was a good time to get a video going. That doesn't mean I know all the ins and outs of the entire game. Believe me, that's not even close to the case. In fact, I have a guide on my iPad here for the different emotes or different commands for the text over here, because I never got deep into an MMO. More than maybe 50 hours in the Secret World, but I never played with people enough that I was really good at learning all those commands. So I'll have a guide. I'm totally cheating here. But, so as you see, my Roegadyn, I'll just call him Marauder. His name is So, Marauders are the axe-wielding, just pummelers, kind of a barbarian of sorts. He doesn't use a sword and shield, that would make him a gladiator. He's an axe-wielding, just badass. And as you can see, he's wearing a pink tunic of sorts and a pink eye patch. That's his armor right now. It is, up until this point, the best armor I've got, so I don't mind wearing it. And, well, mainly I've only been killing little things, so, well, I do have new armor. Yeah, let's go with that. That, you know, I didn't exactly have a problem with the pink tunic. I mean, I guess some people will say it looks gay, but if I were judging it that way, I'd say this looks even gayer, to tell you the truth. That is ugly. And truthfully, go back to this and let me look at if this has any real advantages. I mean, it's a little bit better defense, 1-1. What's this? Bad defense, but no, that's not worth it. I can't wear that yet. I will endeavor to get to the point where I can. What level am I? I forgot already. 8. So soon. Oops. That's better. I haven't had a helmet this entire time. Oh, I lost my eye patch. Oh well. Well, we'll wear this really stupid looking tunic. God, that looks... ugh. But, you know, function. Function over style, I guess. Bonuses, strength. Okay, we'll put that on. Like many MMOs, it's really easy for me to forget that I have all these things to equip and everything. Level 9. Okay. So, these are the story quests here to do. Hey, honestly, my videos for my beginning of this has been passing with. I don't know if I'm even going to post them. I might, just as a side note. Lend hands. But this video, I think, will be the start of the real collection that I'll be trying to do. Zephyr Gate, follow the road northeast. Sure. I have this other quest, but I really don't know where to go for that one, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. Let's see here. Zephyr Gate. Lower decks. I'm totally somewhere else. So they're both heading that way. So... whoa. So, the map on the original game was complete shite. Let's just say. It was beyond terrible and useless. And yeah, I'm just a player, not a journalist, but they would have told you the exact same thing. In fact, I think Kevin Van Ord on his review of Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 said exactly that. Worthless. Or a synonym to worthless, at least. This one, I don't love the map system here. Like, it's functional. Like, what'll often happen is, like, let's say this little map over here is always up, but it doesn't always provide you where the checkpoint is. So I'll end up bringing this map up, zooming it in to where I'll whatever I need to go to. So that's having two maps up, which isn't bad, and it goes, transparent, but it is a bit superfluous having two maps up here. So I wish this one was a little more helpful than it is. And it'll zoom in and out and everything, but I mean, really, it's not the best. But it is still much better than the original was. In fact, I don't remember if this one had a map in this section of the original on it all. It probably had something. The combat And I didn't play 14.1.0 very long, but I have to say, it feels a lot different to me. Like, I mean, if combat was much more WoW-like in the sense that it was extremely passive. So let's see. Let's head up this way and just see. Instead of just trying to figure it out ahead of time, maybe just won't run around for a little bit. The early missions, and this isn't obviously the starting city for everyone. This is the start of any of the Roegadyn, whatever they're called. I started a higher character, and it's a whole different type. It's more of a deserty or plains type place. It was more pretty as when it came to the valley and everything, but this place is really nice, and I'm really impressed with that distant water. In many games, the further distance you get from the water, the less detail it has. That water looks very intricate. Now, it's probably animated in a way where up close it wouldn't look that convincing, but here, it's great. The lighting is really nice, especially in the evening and nighttime. I think the game... I have the feeling the game is still DirectX 9. I'm not sure about that. I mean, well, either that or... It might render in DirectX 11, but there's no tessellation that I've noticed so far. See, and I mean, playing Secret World, it wasn't that great looking of a game in general, but it did have like some awesome tessellation, so it was like better in that sense. So I kind of wish you never have an MMO, or you usually don't, who take advantage of all the technologies available. I know they have to be very scalable because they want to cater to the lowest common denominator when it comes to PC power, because they want everyone to be able to play the game. Final Fantasy XIV is being pretty daring and being a pretty damn good looking game. And I mean, in fact, I'd say when this first came out, I was more impressed. Again, everything else about 14.1.0 was terrible, but when it first came out, it was just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. The only other MMO that really floored me when it came to visuals that I can think of was Age of Conan when it first came out. That's still a good-looking game, by the way. It's not like that's changed. But Final Fantasy XIV came out in 2010, and bear in mind that the Core i7 line of Intel CPUs came out in 2009, or was it late 2008? I want to say 2009. And Final Fantasy XIV recommended a i7 at 2.66 gigahertz, and for it to recommend that such a new technology that just came out was like insane. And the game was good looking, but it wasn't better looking from a technical perspective than say Crysis 2 or Crysis 1. And I mean. So that just meant it was very, very unoptimized or badly optimized. So that was a bit disappointment. Let's see what this guy has to say. He has enough shit to say. Alright. This game is better looking. What happened? Oh. This game is a little bit better looking than the original 14, and it requires less power. It recommends an i5 this time, which... Honestly, that's probably what it really recommended at the before, because the i5 has been dual core, but it's mostly a quad core with 4 physical cores, and that's it. While the i7 has got 4 physical cores and 4 logical cores. I'm just gonna be too techy pretty soon. I'm sorry, but the point being, the requirement or the recommendation of an i7 was just asking a lot. So this game is much better optimized. I've got a good single card. I'm using my 2009 Core i7 920 overclocked at 3.4 gigahertz, and I'm doing just fine. The capture will only capture at 30 frames per second, but I'm often at 60 frames. It'll drop when there's a lot of PCs in the area, but other than that, it's pretty dang smooth. I thought it looked like a poop for a second there. I was like, we sell poop. No, not for fertilizer. We just like poop. Takes all sorts to make a world. Alright. Yeah, I have to admit I don't know which exit to go out of for that. I've always been terrible at navigating my way around MMOs. It's one of the reasons I don't play them that much. But I really wanted to give A Realm Reborn a chance. The chief reason being that this whole complete rebuilding from the ground up of an MMO that failed because it was so terrible, just being re-released, completely rebuilt, is just something that's never been done before. And I kind of want to be a part of. I kind of wanted to be a part of that. Excuse me. So I really wanted to give it a chance, and now I said on our Facebook page that I was going to do my best to not be like, I was not going to try my best not to wear rose tinted glasses. And I'm like I said, it's hard being objective, but at the same time, I know the aspects of its MMO-ness, how about that, that they're still not for me. Like, the combat, it's good for traditional MMO style, but if you really, really hate that hotkey-based combat, this isn't going to change your mind about it. I'd say if that's what you really want, then play DDO, which is a little more action-oriented, or wait for ESO. So, just worth noting. But even though I'm not a huge fan of this hotkey combat, I'm still enjoying this game. And again, even the fetch quests have a fair amount of context to them. Which leads me to one of the things that might be an issue for some people that have been spoiled by the newer MMOs like the Old Republic, the Secret World, and probably the way Elder Scrolls Online will be. There's very little voice acting. There's some key cutscenes with a narrator, but most of the, you probably haven't noticed yet, but except for one quest, almost everything is text, so you got to read. Which, horrible, right? But joking aside, if you've been spoiled by recent MMOs, that might be a step back for you. I want to say don't let it be. I will admit, since there is no voice acting or no cutscenes, that sometimes I've just taken the quest without even reading what it was about and just went and did it. Because I wanted to gain a few levels anyway. Give me a second here. Anyway. So it is a traditional style MMO, hotkey combat, and it's a lot of text, not much voice acting. It's it's a Japanese game, so there's going to be a lot of Japanese sensibility to it. And JRPGs, they, you might say it's not because they're broken, just because they like it that way, but their RPGs, for the most part, are kind of stuck in about 15 years ago when it comes to mechanical progression, evolution. But no, I have to say, in defense, Reborn does not suffer from this. It is, again, traditional style, but it definitely feels like a new game. Even compared to 14.10, it feels like a new game, and it feels like a very good game. Let's see. So... help me find out where I need to exit. Zephyr Gate, right there. Aha! See if I just use my noggin a little bit. So, gotta go back up. I have not really spent much time playing with anyone yet. I'd like to. An acquaintance of mine who's part of a group where I live called DFW Nerd Night, he said that he always preferred just getting in random groups, and that was what made it so attractive to him. And MMOs were always a bit impenetrable to me, and I just never was good at finding people randomly to join up and play with. I did, in fact, the entire 35 or so hours I played Age of Conan, I did it once. There was like 3 dudes going to do a set of quests that I'd already done, and they said, "Hey man, you want to join us?" They just, over here, "Hey man, what's up?" And I was like, "Sure, never done it. Let's give it a shot." And had a great time. We went doing some quests, most of the ones I'd already done, for about 4 hours. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. But that was the only time that I'd ever been approached. Because, I'm guessing that I would clash with the hardcore types. Because, for me, it's one of those things where it's a game. I refuse to get so invested in a game where it becomes like this social obligation. You have to be there at this time, play at this time. If a group of people want to say, "Hey, let's plan to play at this time," that's fine. Don't get me wrong. But when it becomes this whole thing every week or every this time, if you're not there, it's a big deal where everyone's howling at you. I've seen it happen. I had a roommate once who had all kinds of appointments predetermined. I didn't get it. No, don't get me wrong. That roommate we were living in Okinawa. Liberty wasn't a foregone conclusion, so he was doing that just to kill time while he waited to move back to the States. So he played lots and lots of World of Warcraft. In fact, maybe less than a year ago, maybe I asked him how many hours he had with all his characters, and he's like, dude, I don't really want to know. So I convinced him to count up all his hours with all his characters. You ready for this, y'all? 11,000 hours. Now that's over a several-year period. That was not all at once, so don't misunderstand. But still, holy crap. But then again, you know, gotta give him credit. He got his money's worth out of that product. You know, I've teased him about it, but when it comes down to it, hey, he killed time, and he kept himself out of trouble. He saved up, like, I think, several thousands of dollars for when he went back to the States, got himself a nice car and everything, so good on him, right? I mean, what? There's just, I mean, it's hard to even try to put a negative spin on that. I mean, you could say he never had a social life, but for one thing, he did. And second of all, you know, a bunch of Marines in Okinawa, it's easy to get yourself in trouble. And he did a hell of a job staying out of trouble. So that's something to respect, not mock. I guess I should go to Zephyr. Okay, I guess I got to go through Zephyr Gate. Let's try it that way. Let's see. Okay, so I am on the right track. Where is? Oh, it's way the hell up there. Okay. Okay. I would like to get lost in an MMO for the long term. I mean, maybe not play as often as he did, but I wish I could find that one MMO that I play off and on for months and months. Again, I don't want to give up my whole life for it. I've got school. I'll probably be working a job while going to school within the next few months. Got a home to take care of, especially with my wife with her new job. She's going to be gone a lot. It's a salary job, so there's just no 9-to-5 crap. I've been taking over more of the housework and trying to help make things easier on her. But you know, just something that is worth subscribing to and just going back to over and over and over again for a long period of time. But I guess that hinges on having a good online community, and that I've never really found. I mean, my sister and her best friend want me to play the Secret World with them again, and I'm willing to do that. I mean, it's fun playing with them. My family, and I do mean family, my mother, my stepfather, and my sister and her BFF, you know, that little thing's a bit before my time, but that totally applies to them. They play DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online, and that's a good game among MMOs. The action feels a little more combat. Combat feels a bit more actiony, and I enjoy it. But I mean, Elder Scrolls Online is the one I'm really waiting for, and I hope this one keeps me entertained long enough to at least to that point. And if I end up falling in love with it to the point that I'm not worried about ESO anymore, hey, whatever. One thing that will turn people off, I think, is that this is a subscription-based. I think, like, one character is $12.99 if you want a standard thing where you can have up to 8 characters, or it's 8 characters per world, 40 characters total. It's just your normal $14.99. But this game has no in-game store that you spend real money on, and honestly, I like that. I loved Age of Conan. But once they did it free to play, and that store kept popping up saying, "Hey, buy something," it just I hated it. And Secret World, love it, but I hate that store's always there. And it's real nice playing a new MMO with new production values and good looks and all that stuff that there's no in-game store. Just, at least not yet. There might be one planned. I don't know, but I mean, there might be one there now. Honestly, I just haven't seen it, which means it's low-key enough that I'm happy. But again, it's catering to, it's a Japanese game. I think they'll get most of the subscribers in Japan, and they have a different attitude toward this kind of thing than we do, because Final Fantasy XI from 2002 is still thriving. has like over 500,000 subscribers, as last I heard, and I think most of them are in Japan. In fact, at least before Final Fantasy XIV came out, it was still the #1 subscribed to MMO in Japan. So I just like that it's. I know subscription-based MMOs are dying, and I also agree that in the end of the day, that's good, because people need to compete with your dollar better. But honestly, for this kind of game, I'm okay with it if I want to play it enough. And with Elder Scrolls, or with ZeniMax saying Elder Scrolls Online will be subscription-based, they don't want to do the whole, they don't want to restrict it in any way, put it behind anything behind a paywall. And like IGN posted a news story saying, hey, did they just commit suicide? Or, as a product, and maybe they have. I hope not. Because if they was free to play, they'd have to lock up regions behind paywalls and all that crap. And Elder Scrolls is about being an open world from the get-go, so I hope it works out. You're a sanctuary. You will accrue a rested bonus. That's cool. Where's the... Yep, there's the moon. Nice. Cool. Duly noted. Damn. I haven't done much story. I've got like 6-7 hours in this game. I think. But I've done mostly just side missions in the initial area just to get up to certain levels. So, and I wanted to have a basic grasp of this game before I did anything for video. So now is when I was looking at doing more story-based missions, or main story missions, or however you want to word it. So, Roxanne, I'll go back and get that one first. Another thing I love, this game has gorgeous music. I mean, it ranges from basic brass-heavy fanfare music to a Celtic, somewhat Celtic-sounding music. I mean, just a huge, awesome range. I really like it. Some of it sounds a little too synthesizer-y, which that's just kind of par for the course with Square Final Fantasy games in particular. Nobuo Uematsu did contribute the score, the original 14. I don't think he had much to do with this reboot of it. It's a shame. I still love Nobuo Uematsu. I own more of his soundtracks than any other kind, game music or otherwise. Bastard, okay. The text is a little bit full of cliches and a bit of hokiness, but I think that's just... It's almost always the case with a Japanese game translated to English. I don't know if it's because a Japanese staff translates it. Like either they don't have good enough grasp of English slang, or an American group translating it doesn't have a good enough grasp on Japanese slang. I don't know, but it always seems to affect the outcome of the dialogue in English in a negative way, or in my opinion at least. head's itching, but I don't want to adjust the headset because the mic has this sweet spot where it picks me up a lot better than any other spot. +4 is nice. Alrighty then. Let's see. Huh. I guess I can keep my ugly ass one a little bit longer. Uh-oh. I love the pre-quests for the big quests. Like, you take it back to somebody, here, this is the thing I was told to give to you. Oh, well, you gotta, okay, well, yeah, but you gotta do this first. Go to that person. Well, you gotta do this before you can do that. Like, damn it. Very well. Well, I mean, I'm doing it just in, yeah. I haven't been doing it this way, but that's probably the better way to do it. Ooh, does I get my eye patch back if I don't wear that? Oh, man, you know what? I want my eye patch back. Oops. The devil with logic. I like my eye patch. Oh, why can I not do the quest yet? Okay. Alright then. Sure, why not? I tell you, some things don't change. There are a lot of players running around with the female. I can't remember what the other elven equivalent's called, but just wearing as little as it'll let them wear. The teleport looked different. Oh well. So you got, Age of Conan was one game that allowed you actually have your female characters topless. They wouldn't let them go underwearless, but so nipples were all over the game when you played. Excuse me. And I just had this, sneaking suspicion that all the female characters or avatars are running around topless. Probably men. I mean, I don't know. Just this crazy thought of mine. Even Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation, when he did a review, he did a naturist character. He made it funny, and I did do that once. It's kind of a social experiment, because I had my first character in that game was a male, and people were kind of jerks. Like, I was a noob at the time, and no one didn't want to put any time in helping me out or even just joining me up, because if I didn't already know exactly what was going on. So I started another character, I named her Oriana or something like that, Orianthe or something like that, and made her topless and long dark hair and just running around with my boobs hanging out, and guys doubled over to help me. I'm like, seriously? It's not even... It's a freaking CG avatar, but yeah, even then, the dudes were doing that. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of a little bit jaw-dropping that actually is a thing. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. like boobs too, but CG boobs are not going to refuse to let CG boobs have that kind of power over me. I don't like fake boobs in general, and in CG definitely qualifies as fake, I would say. I think I'll kill you. Yeah, see that little yellow outline for the Sunder? That means they combo together for a more effective attack. Cumbersome rock. Looks like he's picking his ass. Charming. Look at this! Look how pretty this game is. I mean, it's just a pretty game. As I said to someone else, I might have said, I maybe said on a previous video, like it doesn't trump, say, Crysis 3 from a purely technical perspective. But I'd rather look at this than Crysis 3. Games that try to be realistic never age well. You know, eventually they just look bad. Look at a PS2 game that was trying to look realistic and think about how it looks now. Just bad. But games that take an artistic direction, which the Japanese are more wont to do, well, American and sometimes, and to a lesser degree, European game developers strive for realism. The Japanese almost always strive for style, you know, an artistic taste. There are exceptions, but. So even though I haven't been enjoying JRPGs a great deal in a long time, there's still a few out there that have been released that I think are absolutely gorgeous. I tried playing Ni no Kuni. I mean, Studio Ghibli involved. I mean, I really wanted to give that a try because I love some of Miyazaki's movies. But after a while, it just became too much of a grind, and I got tired of it. And yes, this is a grind, but not to the degree Ni no Kuni was. So. You know, of all the videos I've done for Gamers Rage's YouTube channel, I have never rambled near as much as I am on this video, so if that's annoying, I apologize. With me playing all day, and I haven't been saying anything because I wasn't recording, because I wanted to get to a certain point first. I guess once I finally was recording, I just got excited and wanted to talk to everyone about it. So basically, during the day, this was a day off. Well, I had class till about 1:50. But I had no homework to do and nothing to prepare for. Clean up the house a little bit and played this for several hours. But during the day, you know, my wife is when she gets home from work, she wants to, you know, relax, play a game, and she spent a lot of time preparing for her next day at work, and so she had the TV on as background noise, which, you know, I couldn't do commentary because, you know, the mic would have picked all that up. I'm not gonna tell her no. I'm not going to tell her to keep all that quiet so I can do this, because she works her ass off, and she deserves to relax in whatever way she sees fit. So most of my video capture takes place after she goes to bed, because I don't have to get up near as early as she does, except for Thursday. I have to get up at 6 that day. So yes, that does give me less opportunities to make these kinds of videos, but you know what? When part of your life is for somebody else and that you've given it willingly to, that's hardly a major sacrifice. It may be different if I was doing this for a living, then of course I'd have an office and I wouldn't have to worry about it, but both our gaming PCs and our TV with our consoles are all in the same room. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, unless I was rich, then I'd have it like this, and also have another PC and another room by itself. So just for this kind of capture. I tend to be that guy who not too often, but every now and then thinks about what it'd be like if I had the money to do this kind of thing full time. Hey, I should win the lottery so I can do this forever. But yet, I almost never buy lottery tickets. Any of y'all like that? Where think about, oh man, if I was this rich, I'd do this, all this crazy stupid stuff, and yet you never go bother to pick up a ticket to even get into the game. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year I pick up a lottery ticket just because, I got a 1 in my pocket, whatever. But I refuse to let myself be invested in the lottery because, I mean, chances are low, and it just kind of sucks for people to let that kind of thing affect their mood. Oh, I didn't win. Well, no kidding. The odds of winning are quite low. Rather just finish school and make a decent living so I can do this during my free time. Whoa. See, what else about the game itself can I think to point out? You know, it's kind of why someone might watch this video instead of just hearing someone ramble about all the crazy crap that no one cares about. One, well, I'm on the PC version, obviously, and using the keyboard mouse control scheme. However, I did play with the controller for a while. It's got this really cool thing. Let's see. If you switch to controller, you've got both legacy tab and camera-based, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Where is it? See this? It's a really clever system to where you hold down LT, and this is the directional pad, and this is your 4 buttons on the right of the controller. Hold on RT, this is the D-pad, this is the correctional buttons. And if you press RB, it brings all these commands up over here in the same fashion as this. And it's a really clever system and an amazing, or to me, a very, very clever way to get a bunch of commands on a controlled limited buttons. I was very impressed with that. Trying to find one feature that I thought was absolutely awesome. Well, anyway, there was a feature in here somewhere where, as far as the controllers go, the buttons here could either be the A, B, X, Y of a 360 controller. Also, it could be the square, triangle, circle, X of a PlayStation controller, and it lets you choose which kind of icons show up. Which I haven't checked, but that leads me to believe that this game probably natively supports a PS3 controller, which is not typically natively supported on PC. And if that's the case, that's just awesome. So, if you have the PC version of this game, and it crossed your mind to play on the big screen, the controller method is fine. I mean, it really is pretty awesome. And I was thinking about picking up a PS3 copy eventually if I keep this game up for when I'm at, maybe at the family's house. And not that when I go to my family's house all I do is play games, but like for the holidays we'll go there for like 2 or 3 weeks if we both have time off. Like from me being in school I do, and Sarah's job gets her a couple weeks off in the holidays as well. So, there will be game playing because it's a game playing family. Excuse me a second. And that's, nothing wrong with that. So, since your characters on Final Fantasy XIV will transfer between the PS3 and PC version, I can just pick up my character where I left off when I'm at someone else's place with a PS3, and that's kind of cool. And, again, thanks to the controller scheme of a controller is actually really, really good. I'm impressed. I can't remember if I did any videos with the control scheme that way or not. But if not, I'll probably do one later. It's not bad. It's not better than a keyboard and mouse, don't get me wrong, but it's not bad. This is what they call fates. Think of it as a dynamic public event, kind of like in. I think they had them in Rift as well, but they also had them in Defiance, where it's just this public event where a bunch of crap just shows up and everyone in the area just gets together and starts killing things. I'm a little late to this party, but I still like it because it's not very risky. It's almost impossible to fail it, but at the same time, it's a way to play together without having to really make a group, and you get rewards based on how much you participated. So you don't just walk into it right before it ends and get the full credits. I got 500 something experience points and not much Jill, but you walk in there, participate, and just get a few experience points out of it, and be in a big group. Those events were actually really cool in Defiance because it's a third-person shooter MMO, and it's just like 60 people all firing at these big, huge, monstrous creatures. And in fact, that was my favorite part about that game, to tell you the truth. I played about 20 hours of that. Defiance is a fun MMO shooter, but it's just so stoic. There's not much going on narratively that I just couldn't stick to it too long. I might go back to it sometime. A friend of ours on Steam has put over 500 hours in Defiance, so maybe I just missed something. That's quite a investment. Orange juice. I'll scan oranges. And you get experience bonus 30 minutes. That's nice. Only worth 1 Jill, so no one would be particularly tempted to sell them. The chances are, I will tell you this right now, I'll probably just forget it's there and never use it, but I'll try to think next time I'm in an area where I'm getting some serious experience. Okay then. Yeah, I think this is actually even solo more fun when I'm talking into a mic about the game itself and all kinds of other things. I have another podcast, a more personal one that focuses on more spiritual matters, and it occurred to me at one point maybe I should just play video games, do the podcast while playing a game, so y'all watch whatever I was playing and talk about whatever I'm talking about. But the truth is, I work to make that one unscripted to maintain a level of the word authenticity isn't quite fit, but just I want to be genuine, and I think I'd be too distracted. I up to this point have and will continue to believe that our best videos are the ones where it's not just me, and so far all the videos have me. Like, whether the other guys are involved or not, it's not because I want it that way, just because they don't have as much time and they don't have a capture device, but hopefully they'll be able to soon do their own playthroughs of their games that I may not be playing, because I don't want everything on this channel to be just me. People are gonna get tired of that shit. Come back here. I guess I did plenty of grinding, even though I didn't really feel like grinding, because these are all level 4 in this area, and I'm level 8 or 9 or something like that. Nice, I'm already 9. Jeez. Let's see, where is the next store? Well, I'll go back to that hot spot. Orange Crush. Slay Puck Hatchlings. I don't see any hatchlings. Oh, that's those things, okay. Puck. Looks like a bat to me, but alright. And there's one thing I don't like about the game's like world and design of characters, is that they have original names and original like characteristics, but they're kind of obviously just differently named versions of the kind of things we already have in our fantasy games. The Heirs are clearly humans, albeit Japanese anime stylized humans. The I can't remember what they're all called, Lalafels, or I think that's what they're called, or the little bitty, cute little 3-foot tall ones. They're basically hobbits or gnomes. So I can't remember what they're all called, but they're just renamed versions of staples in fantasy gaming. Well, man, I'm gonna look it up in a second. Read them all. The Roegadyn is the closest thing we have to an original one, but they are just basically giants. Not really much going on past that. Hi. That one's been sitting there for a while, so I might want to go ahead and take care of that one. One thing I do like at this game over games like Terra is that these monsters don't just, or up to this point, have not just aggroed from proximity. You actually have to attack them, which maybe for hardcore types that's not good, but I kind of like it. Realistic? Certainly not. The hell is that thing? Those are freaking creepy. Hell, let's kill one. Not that tough, and I'm not unhappy about that. Little meme that's going on Facebook that I like is a close picture of a clown spider, and it says clown spider because spiders and clowns aren't terrifying enough on their own. You know, I don't have any particularly bad experiences with spiders. My index finger, I think my right-handed index finger was bitten by a wolf spider when I was like 5. I wouldn't call it that. It hurt, but it was like not, hospital or anything. So I don't know why, but I'm creeped out by spiders. I think some of the foreign ones are really pretty, but I'm still like, eesh. I really don't know why. Like, I wish I liked spiders more than I do, because I think they're pretty creatures. And it's kind of cool watching them kill like a big fat worm. Not typically the guy who takes a lot of pleasure in watching other animals die or anything, but watching spiders feed, like big spiders feed, is kind of neat. Just kind of circle of life, I guess. Alright, all 3 are ready to go and be returned and finished. I'm not stopping for the night, but I'm going to go ahead and end this particular video, just split it into another one. So, thanks for anyone who watched up to this point, and I'll be back with another one pretty soon.